Hey everyone, thanks for your time today. So I'll walk now through the myQuest LMS admin panel. A little bit of more in-depth description of what can you do in the admin? What are some of the technical capabilities? What is it like to build content? And what kind of analytics and reports do I have? How do you set up integrations? How do you set up webhooks? By the end of this video, if you still have questions, you can always reach out to me, samuel@myquest.co, or go to our website, www.myquest.co, book a call from us there. Would love to connect. So without further ado, the myQuest admin panel. So what you're seeing on my screen, this is the administrative side of the system. I have all of my courses listed out here in front of me. You can see I've got a demo test quest. We're actually going to delete that and start fresh. So first, I'll walk through what is the content creator. This is a major element of value for a lot of companies because oftentimes an LMS might require an extra subscription to a content creation tool. If you don't already have one, you might even need to go through a third party. But what we're providing here is a course creation system that relies on a scientific method of learning: action, feedback, trigger. This model of AFT was designed through research in behavioral science with Dan Ariely and a few other major figures, as well as looking at some of the data on what an effective learning process is. How do we create knowledge retention? What's more effective in terms of passive or active learning? And how do we bring those elements into the process? So our builder lets you build quests in a format that we know is tried and tested and works to create better outcomes than a traditional SCORM creation or SCORM editing software. So if you use an authoring tool like Articulate 360, Adobe Storyline, or Connect, there are elements of active learning within those pieces, but we take it a step further. We take the learner into the journey of applying the content at work with feedback and follow-up from a mentor or their cohort, their colleagues. So the learning becomes something that isn't just on the screen. They bring it to life in the reality, the context of their life and their work, and they get support and they're held accountable. So let me walk you through how to build a quest and show you how quick and simple it can be. So in my dashboard, I'm going to click New Quest, and we'll call this quest Demo Test Quest. Sounds great. Author is me. The language, we can support all of these languages currently. This means all the platform prompts and messages and buttons, and the default text is going to be in that language. The content you still have to manage in that language. But if you don't see a language here that's you would like to have supported, let our team know and we will add it for you. So here I'm going to add English as the quest and we'll launch the quest. Now, I will get into the builder and we'll start editing content. So in this builder, I have my introduction quest. Sorry, my introduction level, introduction to sales. Let's just call it introduction. This quest will be a sales training quest. So it'll be a welcome, and we'll do a questionnaire because maybe we want to get a baseline at the very beginning, an assessment of themselves, how confident they are, how much work experience they have in sales, some other elements that we can then measure throughout the quest to get a sense of the change over time. So I'm going to do get to know you. I've heard it called a dipstick test. You kind of dip the oil stick into the oil can of the car to test, well, what's in there? What's the status right now? So get to know you, that's a questionnaire. We'll add level 2. Level 2 is going to be all about rapport building. Let's say introduction to rapport, because it's a pretty in-depth subject. And it can be very impactful when used well in sales. So we'll start with the very first mission, physical rapport, the baseline. And then the next mission will be about auditory rapport. And then we'll do keywords and phrases. And then we'll do something like actually a quiz. So actually, I want to put the quiz after keywords and phrases and do a rapport quiz. And then we'll do a quick summarize and practice mission. And we'll add another level, speaking clearly, or let's say keeping the pace. Great. So I've got 3 levels and I've created an outline for a sales training. Now, what I'll do from here is add the content within the missions. Now, if I want to move things to other levels, I can just select the mission. I want to bump this to level 3. Done. Now I'm going to edit the content by clicking edit mission. Now within the edit mission, you see what the user will see. That's one of the benefits of this authoring tool is you're going to see it how they see it. You don't need to use your imagination. It's also very plug and play. So I'm going to take a video from YouTube just to add something. YouTube sunset time lapse. We'll copy here and we'll just add this into the quest. So it's added in by a paste, super simple. You can also upload directly videos and have them as extra elements. Inside of the mission, you do need to embed it. If it's here in the above, the very beginning of the mission, it's embedded from YouTube and Vimeo. You can also, we work with other providers like the Cast and My Streaming Provider. Down below in the What's My Mission section, you can embed videos from any third-party provider as long as it's embeddable, so that you could even host your own AWS videos and embed them here. You can also embed SCORM packages and content in the What's My Mission window. But below the video, and let's say you want to, oh, I don't want a video, I want an image. Great, upload the image. So we're going back to below the video. I have an introduction to the mission. This is usually the why of the mission. Why are they being asked to do? What's in it for them? If they're about to do a learning action, take some step related to developing themselves. Why is it important? How does it tie to the overall goal of the course? So I'm going to say, what is the why and context of this mission? Great. Now below, what's my mission? Let's say your mission is to watch the recorded sales call above and notice the physical setting of the sales reps, background, lighting, head position on the camera. What else might be there? Clothing, and kind of, let's say, hygienic presentation. So there we go. We've got a physical rapport noticing. So the mission is for them to watch the video above, and maybe I want to embed something from an external content provider. So let's take a Calendly link. I'm just using this to showcase the iframe. You populate your embed link with it, and it just populates right into the iframe of the mission. Now we'll just remove this so it's not there. Let's set the difficulty of the mission easy, 15 to 30 minutes. Let's say I want them, after they do this, I want them to actually journal on a few questions. So I want them to reflect. I want them looking for, so the mission is telling them they're watching content, but they're looking and listening for certain elements in that video. And then I want them to think and reflect. So I'm going to force them to answer writing questions before they can move to the next mission. And that's this add writing assignment button. Now let's say, what did you notice about the physical rapport being built? And then what stood out to you about the physical presentation of the sales rep? Great. So I've got that covered. Now they're going to be journaling on these. When they answer them, it'll be saved in their personal user journal. The one-to-one coach they're working with, it'll be sent to automatically. Or if they're working with a buddy, it'll go to that buddy automatically, depending on what you have active for the user in that specific quest. Now, I also want them to then summarize everything they just learned and shared with their peers and their cohort that they're doing the quest with. Now, this is a huge element for knowledge retention. If someone just quickly reflects on what they did, watched, and learned, the knowledge retention is much greater. And if we're looking to deliver training that leaves employees actually seeing a difference in their work outcomes, we need to enable these things to happen, not just check the box, they completed the quiz, never remember it, never reflect on it ever again. So I'm actually going to, let's say, share with your peers what you learned about physical rapport. So it doesn't matter if my peers read this. The purpose is that I'm writing. I'm thinking, what did I learn about physical rapport? I'm repeating it. And then it goes to maybe my coach. It goes to my peer group. But regardless, is the fact that I did that is going to enhance the retention. So now I know about physical rapport that much more for that much longer. So now we're on the make this mission a habit. So let's say I want them to generate a habit from this one activity of learning about physical rapport on a sales call. So I'm going to click make this mission a habit. And we'll call this habit set your physical rapport. And the tip, always show up, always put attention on the set and setting. Great. And I'm going to put a video link that maybe is the description of physical rapport for them to watch. I'm going to then add a description of what to do, why it's important. This is something they're focusing on every day, and they'll check that they've done every day. And you can set reminders about that. So now they're getting reminders. Did you set your physical rapport today? We noticed you didn't mark it off yesterday. Hey, pay attention to the physical rapport in your calls. You haven't done your habit in 3 days. These kinds of reminders we can set up, and I'll show you even where you can do that here in the admin. Maybe you want to add some tips about physical rapport, add a succulent, add a plant, put a cool logo, put a picture, something that stirs up the person's interest and is interesting to look at and clean. And then maybe I want to upload a file or an image. I do that there. And then that's the mission. So now I can move the missions around within the levels, right? And I want to edit the questionnaire. I'm going to add a question. What is your favorite color? And we're going to have them select multiple choice answers. Let's do red, green, blue. And, I can add more questions to this. I can make them short answer, multiple choice. I can even allow them to select more than one answer because it's a questionnaire. You're gathering data from them. Now I've got here a quiz. I'll just quickly show how to do a quiz. First, you set the passing score 90%. I want to add a question. How do you set the physical rapport on a sales call? And we'll do here multiple choice. And we're going to do this by laughing when you start the call. And then by putting a special effect on your face, right? And then I would go through and create a few other options for them. And this is the correct answer. You can do fill in the blank with this model. You can do, physical rapport is the blank part of the call. And then I want to do multiple choice. You give them the options, unseen and unspoken. Great. Say unspoken, but seen. So now that's the correct answer. They'll get that correct if they check that. So they know, okay, I have a few options to fill in the blank with. That's the one I'm going to choose, and I get it correct or incorrect. Now I can have as many questions as I want in the quiz. And you can always go back and change the passing score and the title. And I can move quizzes around within the level, of course, and I can move them to other levels. So in general, adding content to a quest is simple. It's quick. And just in a few minutes, we've built a quick quest outline for a sales quest. Now, to give you a candid estimate, if I were to fill in the rest of this content, it would maybe take me another 30 minutes, and then I would have the whole thing done. So let's back out of the builder, and I'm going to publish this quest. I want to get it live, send it to my team. So I'm going to publish. There's a welcome message that the users will receive. Welcome. And I'm going to publish up to a certain level. You can build the ship as you sail. Maybe this is a quest with only 2 levels built and ready, and the other 3, 4, 5, and 6 levels. Those will be published as the team determines what's going to be important for the sales training internally. You can do that. And that's how you'd publish it. Now, let's say I want to invite a user to the quest. I go back to my user the quest list dashboard. I go here, 3 dots, generate user invitation, and I'm able to generate that invitation. Let's say you want to take a look at what's the progress in that quest? What's going on? What are people doing or not doing? How are they moving through the content? I'm going to click quest users. And first, let's do a quest that actually has some users. So in this report of users, you're going to see their name, their email, when they joined the course, when they last logged in, what level are they on, what mission are they currently on, what % complete of the quest have they done. I can also see other stats like which mentor they're assigned to. Do they have the one-to-one coach turned on or the buddy system? I can download this entire page into a spreadsheet. I can also look at all their responses and their quizzes, questionnaires, and the forced writing mission assignments when they have to journal to respond, to move forward. Those are saved here in the spreadsheet. So we're going to now move to the analytics. So this is one form of report, which kind of shows me the raw system of what are they doing in this quest, or what are they doing in all the quests in the ecosystem. I can do all quests, look at all the users across the whole account and download that report. But let's say you want to look at the analytics. How well was the content designed and built? How are users moving through? How active are the groups as they move through the content? A new hire group of, let's say 30, 32, they were only logged in when they first, all of them logged in that first week. But, you know, we've seen some dips in activity, but in general, they're somewhat active. Most of the users are on level 3, and they sit, most of them, on mission 6 within level 3. So this shows me where they are just in a graph view very quickly. I can see how often they're posting in the community channel or the journal each week. I can also see how often a specific cohort logs back into the platform after they join the quest for the first time. If you give the option for the user to skip a mission, this will track which missions they skip most often. So you can see here, mission 6, skipped a lot. Most challenging levels and most challenging missions. This is determined by the user arriving at that level, which is the section of content or a specific mission, and going inactive for a week or a month. So this tells me we've got mission 6, looks like mission 5 is the most challenging mission. People get here and go inactive for a week or a month. And mission 6 is a close second. Looks like mission 1 is also challenging. Users are getting stuck at these points, which would be an indication I need to go back and look at the mission, redesign it, incentivize them in some way. Now, if you're setting due dates for the quests and you want to check who's done the quest on time and who's not, that's done here by completion analytics. You can export this report very quickly. I can also see when I've assigned a due date to a quest, all the users that are not started, all the users that are in progress, all the users that are completed. And if I go down here, I can see and kind of list it out. I can filter by it. Very simple to pull up all cohorts or specific cohorts if you're looking at completion. Now, some other elements around, let's say, import a mission. I think I spoke to that in the builder. You can import a learning activity and a mission from one quest into another. And let's say I want to take a quest I've built and export it into a SCORM package and load that into another learning management system. That's possible, so that you can still keep the one-to-one coaching. All the reports and all the actions and things that happen and report here are still alive, and you can do it all tracked. And on their end in the LMS, it tracks the user enrollment and completion in that content. So we have learning groups, which lets you set up specific groups of the company. You know, let's say you have a manager learning group, you have a customer facing learning group, you have an IT technical learning group. And within each learning group, you want to create different quests as available or not. So you click manage quests, and I can add a quest by selecting from the library. I can make it available or assigned to that learning group. And I can edit, you know, let's say I want to remove it. I want to make it available, easy to check, remove the selected. So once the learning group's created and you've created, all of these quests are available in the library, meaning they're not assigned automatically. When they go to the quest library in the user dashboard, they'll see it, they can search and quickly add it to theirs to take in the user dashboard. But let's say you want to add a learning pathway. So, okay, I've got a learning pathway, which is a series of quests. And those learning pathways can be assigned to different learning groups or available to different learning groups. So you might create a series of learning pathways, like, you know, a manager toolkit, which includes time management, feedback, and leadership presence in a training program in a series. So to add a learning pathway, all I'm doing is clicking new. I'm naming the learning pathway. I'm selecting the main mentor that's associated with it. There's an image there, description. Once I add that, I go here and I can edit the quests in that pathway. So the previous quest needs to be completed. No, no, yes, no, no. You can kind of determine, hey, the quest before needs to be done or not. I can add a new quest from the library. I click add new quest. And it lets me select the quest from our library. whether the quest previous needs to be done or a date range that it can be done on. And then I can rearrange the order that these are done in by just clicking update. Very, very simple. So that's a pathway, and it would be automatically assigned to different users based on their learning group. Now, let's say you wanted to take a look at each user, a single employee. What have they done? What have they not done? What courses have they been assigned or not? If you click the user and under user management, it shows you which quests they're in, which ones are available or assigned, which learning paths are available or assigned, and which learning groups this user is a part of. The user activity will show me everything I'm a part of and kind of where I'm at, level, mission, percent complete, joined, last login, etc. Now, let's say I want to set up some automations. Before I get into automations, quickly, terminology. I can then go through and change the terminology: quest, level, mission, habit, meeting, challenge, journal, community, mentor, complete mission button title. Instead of I did it, maybe you want to say click it or done or completed. Change the terms. You don't have to use quest, level, mission. Now, events and actions. So I want to set up an automation. So we'll add new event action. When a user failed a quiz, I want to, let's say, which quest? Cybersecurity training, any quiz. I wanted to execute a webhook, an automation. I wanted to send an email to the user. I wanted to send an email to their supervisor that they failed that quest, or to let, a personal message to the user to encourage them to take the quiz again. That's one example of the automate. A user signed up, user registered to a quest, user completed a quest, user completed a mission, user unlocked a level. All of these things, we can create a webhook, an automation, a message to occur. So let's go to integrations and check out what's possible there. New integration, what's the integration name, provider, the API key, some other information, and then webhooks. This is also very technical. So our team is available to help you with all of these. By the way, contact your project manager. They'll help you with everything you need to set all of this up. So this is just a high level, well, not a high level. This is an overview of the admin dashboard, going into some of the details of how the reporting works, how the user management works, how to invite users, learning groups, assigned and available quests, learning pathways, assigned and available learning pathways, compliance reports. If you have any questions or want to see anything else inside of this dashboard, don't hesitate. Reach out to me, Samuel at myquest.co. Give me a call, 646-859-2661, and I'd love to discuss, walk you through the system, help answer your questions, and get related to what's going on in your world. Thank you so much, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.